Fame can seem like a dream. Red carpets, flashing lights, and adoring fans. But behind the scenes, the reality is often very different. Many classic stars, once the center of the world's attention, vanished almost overnight, leaving millions to wonder what really happened. Was it scandal, personal tragedy, or simply the harsh, unforgiving nature of Hollywood itself? Today, we dive deep into the hidden stories behind 10 legendary stars who faded from fame, and why their stories remain unforgettable. 1. Rick Moranis. At the height of his fame, Rick Moranis was a comedic force like no other. With hits like Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, he built a career on laughter and unforgettable characters. Yet at the peak of it all, he made an unthinkable decision. He walked away. After the heartbreaking loss of his wife to cancer, Moranis chose to step back to focus on what mattered most, raising his 2 young children. In a world where many cling desperately to the limelight, Moranis showed true character by putting family first. His absence was deeply felt, but his legacy only grew stronger with time, as fans came to admire him not just as an actor, but as a father who made the ultimate sacrifice. 2. Cameron Diaz. Few actresses defined a generation like Cameron Diaz. From The Mask to Shrek to Charlie's Angels, she became a global sensation almost overnight. Yet despite her fame, Diaz felt trapped. She later opened up about the overwhelming control Hollywood had over her life, dictating her schedule, her choices, even her identity. Walking away wasn't a sudden decision. It was a gradual reclaiming of her life. Diaz found happiness outside of acting by launching a wine brand, writing health books, and embracing motherhood. Her retreat from the industry served as a rare example of someone choosing genuine self-fulfillment over the hollow promises of endless fame. 3. Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates burst into stardom with her unforgettable pool scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, cementing her place in pop culture history. But just when everyone expected her career to skyrocket, she took a different path. After marrying actor Kevin Kline, Cates made a deliberate choice to step away from Hollywood to build a stable home life. She turned her focus toward raising their children and opened her own boutique store in New York City. In an industry that often demands total sacrifice for success, Cates rewrote her own narrative, choosing authenticity, privacy, and family over fleeting fame. 4. Joe Pesci. When you think of Joe Pesci, you think of electric performances. The fiery temper in Goodfellas, the comedic genius in Home Alone, the razor-sharp delivery that left audiences spellbound. But fame was never the end goal for Pesci. After winning awards and solidifying his place as one of the greatest character actors of his generation, he chose to walk away from the constant hustle of Hollywood. Pesci retreated into a life focused on personal passions like music, even releasing a jazz album. Only rarely would he return to acting on his own terms, showing that for some, stepping back isn't failure, it's freedom. 5. Bridget Fonda. Born into a legendary acting dynasty, Bridget Fonda seemed destined for lifelong stardom. Her performances in films like Single White Female and Jackie Brown were critically acclaimed. Yet a serious car accident in the early 2000s and her marriage to composer Danny Elfman changed everything. Instead of chasing roles, Fonda quietly disappeared from the public eye, focusing on healing and family life. For many, her retreat from Hollywood felt abrupt. But for Fonda, it was a conscious decision to step into a more peaceful and private chapter, away from the relentless demands of the industry. 6. Freddie Prinze Jr. Once considered the quintessential teen heartthrob, Freddie Prinze Jr. seemed to have it all. With his charming smile and starring roles in She's All That and Scooby-Doo, he was everywhere. Yet the toll of relentless fame, combined with his dissatisfaction with the industry's politics, drove him to pivot his career. Prinze Jr. turned his attention to his family with Sarah Michelle Gellar, explored voice acting and animation, and even penned a cookbook. He found satisfaction not in the spotlight, but in creating a life on his own terms, far from the fleeting frenzy of Hollywood. 7. Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan was once America's sweetheart, embodying the perfect blend of vulnerability and charm in iconic romantic comedies, but fame's darker side caught up with her. After a few career missteps and a media storm surrounding her personal life, Ryan found herself retreating from an industry that had once adored her. Instead of desperately chasing roles, she turned to directing and independent projects, choosing a quieter existence where she could nurture her creativity without the brutal glare of public scrutiny. For Ryan, disappearing from fame wasn't a loss. It was a survival strategy. 8. Geena Davis. With roles in classics like Thelma and Louise and A League of Their Own, Geena Davis was a groundbreaking figure, redefining what women could be in Hollywood. But the industry's ageism soon became impossible to ignore. Roles dried up, opportunities shrank, and Davis found herself sidelined, not because of talent, but because of prejudice. Rather than accept defeat, she channeled her energy into activism, founding the Geena Davis Institute to combat gender inequality in media. By stepping out of the limelight, Davis became a different kind of star, one fighting for lasting change. 9. Macaulay Culkin. Few child stars have burned brighter or crashed harder than Macaulay Culkin. After dominating the early 90s with Home Alone and My Girl, Culkin faced brutal family drama, intense media scrutiny, and the crushing weight of early success. Exhausted and disillusioned, he took a break that turned into an extended hiatus. In adulthood, Culkin rebuilt his life on his own terms, forming a comedy website, dabbling in indie projects, and rejecting the trappings of traditional celebrity. His story is a reminder that sometimes survival itself is the greatest success. 10. Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah's ethereal presence lit up films like Splash and Blade Runner, but her relationship with fame was fraught with anxiety. Behind her stunning beauty and graceful performances, Hannah struggled with autism in an industry that demanded perfection. Finding Hollywood too toxic and overwhelming, she gradually shifted her focus toward environmental activism. Hannah risked her career for her beliefs, participating in protests and becoming a leading voice for sustainability. In leaving behind fame, she found a deeper, more enduring form of purpose, one far beyond the cameras. Fame may seem like the ultimate prize, but for many of these stars, it came at a cost too great to bear. Their decisions to walk away, rebuild, or reinvent themselves reveal a side of celebrity life that most people never see, a world where personal happiness often means sacrificing the spotlight. Which stories surprise you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look behind the curtain of Hollywood's lost legends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.